G'day everyone in the crew, Zoe the Video Confidence Coach here, ready to roll for another Tuesday weekly live stream. So I'm going to go around and make sure my technologies are working. If you have any questions, let me know. Usually we would have a countdown, but I'm putting together a nice little intro title for you guys so we can, put everything together. And I'm going to make sure I share this to the right places and the right people, which I'm sure you are already, but just in case. It's always good to know. And I would love to know how you guys are going tonight. We're going to say it in group. If you had any questions about video, or one thing I do want to know from you guys today, we just finished. Hold on, I'll just finish sharing this as soon as I can actually see my own keyboard. There we go. So, there we go. So today we just finished at Creative Geelong, the Digital Innovation Festival of 2019. We had a full day of events, and when I say, ooh, hi Les, and when I say full day of events, I mean absolute 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. We just finished one at 5 p.m. I made sure I got to the stream on time, and we had a nice animation at the end. So we'll be putting out those videos on the Creative Geelong YouTube channel soon. We recorded everyone and put everything together for them. So not to a professional extent, but using these little beauties, but enough to get the point across, and happy to always help out. G'day Les. I'll just wave it to you up there. So I want to say hello to everyone on the live stream. Feel free to comment below about how your day's been, how your Tuesday's been, and any particular questions you have about video. But what I'd like you to do on my end is I'd love for you to share, to like, subscribe, tag anyone who'd like to sit down and have a session who's free tonight to talk about video, marketing, and all that jazz. Because we do this every week on a Tuesday. I'm thinking of calling it the I don't know, but it's usually just kind of defaulted as the, weekly live stream session type scenario stuff. So there isn't always going to be a title as of yet, but I'm looking to put together a few things for you guys, like putting together a few quirky titles, some sound effects, some stuff like that I can utilize the live streaming platform a little bit more cohesively for you, and you can have a bit more fun with it as we go along, because I'll be here 6 to 7 every weeknight. Not every weeknight, Lord knows no, but I'll be here every Tuesday, if you ever, need to talk. And what we're going to be talking about today, as you may have noticed in the title or in the comment below if you're on Instagram Live, is we're going to talk about the video marketing mindset. Sorry. Oh, I'm going to wash that one down. Okay, so, that was a bit of a harsh one. I've had a thing in my throat for a while. I'm not sick, but a physical thing, so I'm not sure what's going on there. Okay, I think it will be fine for the rest of the live stream, but we're going to be talking about the video making mindset. So when you're creating videos, what type of mindset is best to have? Love that. Sorry, I just got a nice comment from Lee from Pillow Fort, who we just recently as of an hour ago, helped out with their podcast meet and greet / podcast episode they did with some great animators. Sorry, still recovering from that cough. But I want to talk to you guys today about video making mindset. So, and particularly within that mindset of getting to create video or creating video regularly in your marketing, is to focus on batching and discipline. And I'll go through this live stream. I'll touch on basics about batching your videos and the right and wrong ways to go about it, and the discipline of actually creating video content, because like anything that you want to get better at, you have to do it with practice, and with practice it means doing it a lot. And I can definitely falter. I can be definitely one of those people when it comes to something that I'm not inherently fixated on, focused on, or passionate about. I have a tendency of putting it to the wayside, and even stuff that'll benefit me and my business in the future, I'm just like, I don't want to do it now, and I'll never do it. And that's the same thing with video content, or the same thing when creating consistent marketing for your brand. You want to be able to create consistent marketing over time, and that means you have to put the effort and the work in. So we're going to be talking about that today, and also we're letting you know about some exciting stuff that's happening at Video Confidence Coach, especially about what's happening tomorrow night. Yes, tomorrow night. And I'll talk about that a bit more. But the brief rundown is that Podcasting 101, our workshop that we're doing with Jürgen Strauss, Dr. Jürgen Strauss from InnovaBiz, who's like, I think he's at 210 episodes so far on his business podcast, plus other podcasts that he runs, and he also helps you build a podcast and run it. And he's just got so much knowledge, and I'm so glad to be doing a workshop with him. So this morning we just printed off, I just printed off the booklets. So we put the booklets together, made it all nice and shiny, put it all together. We finished up the presentation. I'm going to be picking up the catering tomorrow, and we're all good to go. And I'm so glad that we're doing that. Now that I have to remind myself, I do have to send an email out to the guys who have paid for a ticket and who are participating in the workshop, just sending them an email to, get them to ask their questions and let them know that they're, coming. Because a lot of people, and I did see a couple of stats today about attendeeship of workshops and events in Geelong versus Melbourne and regional Victoria. Some of them were anecdotal, and then some of them I did a bit of research and checked out some of the stuff from like EcoDev and all those places that have like real hardcore statistics. But the reason that it intrigues me is because for a free event, say for example you're running a free event, be it a talk, workshop, what have you, even if it is free, like for the consumer or the customer, you still have to pay for the space, catering if that's what you're doing, and you also have to think about added materials and time, labor costs as well, because when you're running a workshop you have to organize all that stuff around it. So when you're running a free event, it's not free. it's never free. That's how world works. It's never going to be free, and the attendance rate for free events can, be staggeringly large in regards to, for example, there may be times in the past where you've, booked in to see a free event and then something's come up and then you just haven't attended. And that's fine. And that's what I used to do before I started running my own events, where if there was a free event that I checked in saying, oh, I'm going, or I bought a ticket, free bought, like I gave my details over and then proceeded not to go to the event, I didn't really think too much about it. But now that I run events, and I know a lot of people that do run events, the margin of people not turning up is anywhere from 30% all the way up to like 70 or 80%. And that can be quite frightening as someone who runs workshops, or people who are in the business of running workshops and such. And yes, you're thinking about a free event, and most humans, when you put money towards something, then they're actually going to, inherently going to be like, okay, I'm going to rock up, I'm going to turn up, I'm going to, do everything. But it just surprised me and actually kind of made me feel bad of what I used to do. Yes, hindsight's 2020. That, I would, I would log in, or I would purchase a ticket, or even, for events that like $15 or such. And then I wouldn't turn up for, health reasons, something happened or whatever reason, and I didn't contact the person running the event. And I didn't think anything of it, but now I know from myself and from other people I've worked with, is it's quite annoying, especially when you've, like even today, some of the events where we ran the events where they were, booked out, or, booked at, it was like 35 people booked in and only, 8 people turned up, which is great for the 8 people that turned up. They got, one-on-one sessions with the presenters and that ability to talk one-on-one and get really good feedback. But it was kind of sad to see that, we booked out this space for you. The events are running, but it's kind of sad in that respect. So that was my little tangent in regards to free events and the statistics around that. So, 30 to 70% of people won't turn up. For events under $100, it was something like, 20 to 30%, something like that. And then for events over 100, it's about 10% or below. And I can understand that. You put money towards something, you want to make sure you get the most out of it, you actually turn up. And the reason that people go to these workshops, these seminars, these events, these speakers, is because they want to improve themselves. They want to learn, they want to grow for their business, for themselves, for their hobbies, what have you. And if they're not turning up, there's a good chance that they're not actually going to do what you need them to, or they're not going to make it sales any better for them, or they're not really going to try. So, which is a bit sad to see, but I'm quite thankful that we've had a pretty decent turnout so far for the Video Made Easy. Hashtag Video Made Easy guys that came in last week. So if you're part of the Video Confidence crew and you're new, and you recently joined us, feel free to comment below and let us know. And see how you're enjoying the group so far and how you enjoyed the Video Made Easy workshop. We'll be running a lot more workshops now that I'm less sick. Obviously, of course, I won't be pushing it, but we'll be running a lot more workshops in the Creative Geelong and around Geelong now that I'm less sick, a lot more focused, and be able to actually fulfill when people actually want to do things. So it's been almost about 10 minutes in, and I want to say hello to anyone who's recently joined the live stream, and just want to ask you a question about, have you attended any events recently? Be it free, be it paid, be it because of work, be it because your employer told you to go, or so if you've attended any workshops, speeches, presentations, speakers, anything like that, comment below how you enjoyed the event. Did you think it was a good use of your time, good use of your money and effort, or did you feel like it was a bit of a waste? And if it was a bit of a waste, what did you feel like you could do to improve it? The reason I ask you that is for engagement, always good, but I sincerely want to know what you guys are doing, and what you guys are thinking from your end, because as I've said to you guys, and I always say to you guys, that your customer is not you. The person you're doing the video for is not you. They don't know your history, they don't know your expertise, and they definitely don't know your skills. And that's the same thing with me. I don't have skills in accounting, for example. I am actually quite terrible at accounting and finance. Yes, there is a bit of a bit of inherent fear and anguish when it comes to anything that has to do with finances, which is why I have to get over myself and be like, okay, don't worry, the fear is normal. This is the same thing that your clients feel. And I just have to put that energy into actually dealing with finances. Oh, God. But the reason I ask that and bring that up is because running workshops is not a normal occurrence for most people, I would imagine. And I would like to know what you guys think from your end and your experiences with workshops, or, like I said, speakers, presentations, about what it's like from your end, because I've attended a lot. I've been to a lot of workshops, and learnt a lot from them to be able to apply to my own workshops, to be able to apply to my own events, to make sure that, say, for example, one tip that I've always been surprised most people don't do is 20 minutes. 20 minutes is the average time that humans can pay attention to, so that it's even less for, teens or children, but 20 minutes is the longest time people can strenuously focus on one topic. Now, of course, that time can vary between humans. We're all different, and unique and special, but with humans, you want to, give them time to move around, give them time to breathe. And that's the same thing with, when you're doing a workshop. You don't want to go, 2 or 3 hours start to finish without any breaks, without any breathing room to digest the information, to talk with other speakers around them, to, gain time to digest what you've given them. Of course, they'll be doing most of that after the session, or if it's a multi-day session, between the sessions. But being able to, give like 5-minute breaks, once every half hour at minimum. Like, for example, the workshops that I'm running both last week and tomorrow, hashtag podcasting 101. Woo! The tickets are still available. I think they're still open. We'll find out. But the reason that I want to make sure that I leave at least a quick 5-minute break is because of that human control and that perception. And it also gives people a chance to, you as the presenter, it gives you a chance to breathe and take a break and be like, okay, how have we done so far? Okay, do I need to speed up? Do I need to slow down? Blah, 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 blah. And that's the same thing with the people that you're working with. It gives them a chance to breathe, get up if they can, if they can get up and walk around, move around, eat something, drink something, focus on something that's not your face, the slides, or that piece of paper in front of them. Give them something else to look at. Get them to breathe oxygen. And that's one thing that I'm surprised that a lot of, people who have done this for many years, who have done many workshops, presentations, where there's just absolutely no break. And I can understand when, you're doing a workshop, presentation or such for someone else. You're doing it for a corporate, you're doing it for a business, you're doing it for something, and you don't really have control over times. I can understand that. But when it's, being run of your own volition, it's kind of surprising how many people don't know that, it's okay to take breaks, even 5 quick-minute ones, 5-minute quick ones. All right. So, like I said before, if you are interested in today's live stream or the question that we're discussing about, feel free to share, like, subscribe, let your friends know, tag anyone you know who'd be interested in learning about this, and we will get on with today's live stream. Yes, it's already like 16 minutes in, but we're still talking about good stuff. Yes, good ASMR. ASMR. Yes, I probably should have filled my water bottle a little higher than that. Whew. Right, let's get going. So, today we're going to talk about video marketing. It's just a default, video marketing is the default thing that I say. So video making mindset, that mindset of I'm going to create video content, I'm going to keep it consistent, I'm going to be able to create videos over time, making sure that I help my audience, that I solve their problems, and that I do it on a regular basis. Because practice makes perfect, but it also helps our algorithms as well. On Facebook, especially on YouTube, SEO, Google, all those places, they like consistent content. As well as that, the quality is consistent, but they also like consistent timings to be able for an audience. And the algorithm is great in the sense of it follows the audience, it follows the people. People like consistency. People like, to be able to know that, hey, my TV show's on at this time of night, or this person that I like streaming. Hashtag wink wink if you like me, comment below. This person I like, who I like live streams every week at this time, for this many minutes or this many hours. That consistency is something that you would enjoy and your customers would enjoy too. So if you have that ability to conceive that consistency for yourself, then it's recommended that you do the same with the rest of your marketing. Regular, weekly, fortnightly, monthly even, blog posts, creating regular, social media posts, posting, once a day, 3 times a week, what have you, having some sort of consistency. And of course, things can change. Things can change for the better, things can change for the worst. It doesn't really matter too much about that change. It's more of that, can you keep that change consistent? And the same thing with me, like for example, I can be at fault at that in regards to my consistency, is that before I got sick, I was doing a podcast episode up every Monday, a guest episode every Friday, and I was doing that quite well for a good, I think, 4 months. And then I got sick and it went to hell, and then it didn't happen from there. But say, for example, the way I'd get around that, other than, being sick isn't great, but the way I'd get around that is by doing this first option that we have for you. It's called batching. So batching is when you create multiple videos at the one time. So the way that I put it to people is when you're going out let's say you're going out for a dinner. And, you make yourself all pretty. This goes for men too, Hey, Catherine. You make yourself so pretty, you put effort into your look, put on some perfume, some cologne, you try really hard, you get ready to go and look all pretty and sexy. And then, you head out and you go out, you sit down and, you go out to dinner, sit down and, they serve you the entree. It's beautiful, it's nice. And then you go home. That's what you're doing when you create one video at a time. Now, of course, this doesn't always apply to videos that you can only film one video at a time. Thank you for the love, Catherine. So say, for example, when you're creating one video at a time because of the time limit that you have. But for most small business owners, you've got a limited amount of time already. And if you're able to set aside, 1 hour, 2 hours, God forbid 3 hours of your time, once a fortnight, or even once a week, to sit down, put effort into your appearance, your scripts, and your plan of how you're actually going to film it, then you're able to film, 1, 2, 3, even like upwards of, I've seen some professional guys do upwards of 85 videos in one session. And yeah, so those are short, sharp videos when I say 85. G'day there. When I say 85. But a lot of people are able to do a lot of videos in a short amount of time. The reason for this is because they've practiced, they've planned, and they're actively scheduled themselves around it. So the reason I mention scheduling is because they need the discipline. See where I'm keeping this in? See where this is coming in? So having that active discipline of making sure that, okay, I have scheduled this time of my week to film my video content. And I know when it's coming up at a consistent time for me. So I know when to have my scripts done by. I know when to have the office, the studio, wherever you're filming from, free by myself, or I know to have it booked out if you're working out of a, co-working place like we have it here at Creative Geelong, or when you're working somewhere that maybe has a bit of noise or maybe has kids around, dogs, pets, what have you. If you can film somewhere that you know is going to be quiet for a certain amount of time, and you know you're going to do that every week, fortnight, or month, then that discipline will become habit. It'll become inherent, and you'll be able to do a lot more with your content over time. And because you'll be planning for it, you'll be looking forward to it almost, that you'll also feel a lot more confident about yourself and your ability. Because it's not a, surprise, here's a video. Okay, I actually have to do this. Okay, look at the camera. Go through all my notes. Okay, let's do this. Yes, it can feel overwhelming. And when you feel unprepared, you're more likely to make a mistake. And that's what we fear as humans. We don't like to make a mistake. We don't like the idea of making a mistake because in the olden days you would die. Nowadays, less so much. But, some people make really big mistakes and you can die. But we're not going to talk about that. But the reason I bring this up is because when doing this type of discipline or, video making mindset, I want you to focus on who you're doing it for. And as I said to everyone who's ever watched my videos or joined any of our workshops is, thank you, Catherine. Catherine just said excellent advice, and I agree with her because I said it. Yeah, you need to stroke your ego a little bit. It's not about you, it's about your customer. So when creating video content, you're not creating it for yourself, you're creating it for the benefit of your customer. And if you keep reminding yourself of that, and you keep reminding that, yes, that's why I'm doing this content, it's going to make it a lot easier. And because you're doing it for someone else, for the benefit of someone else, and especially your customers, the people that you care about, they'll give you money eventually, but it's also the people you actually want to help solve the problem of. You're more likely to try, at least, to keep that video discipline and keep that content going. So what the first point I want to talk to you guys today about is to identify what your aim is, not who you are. Now, I know this may seem a bit convoluted, but let me explain. What you want to do is you don't want to think about where you want to be. Okay, let me put this in a better context, Zoe. I want you to think about when you're doing your video content. I don't want you to think about what you're trying to do. I want you to think about what your goal is, what you're aiming to do with your video content, who you're trying to reach, not about where you are now. So say, for example, a month ago, I was thinking I should do weekly live streams. Okay, I'm just, I've thought about the process of how I'm actually going to actually do it, put 2 cameras up. I looked into the software, put it all together, made sure I got my lights, backdrops, tested a few things here and there. And all throughout that entire process, I was always thinking about, okay, just imagine myself in, 6 months' time. I've got, yes, I have to think about this. G'day there. I have to think about, what is it? So in 6 months' time, 6 times 4, I'm, great at math. Hey, Luke, what's 6 times 4?
6 times 4, 18, question mark?
18? We're going to go with 18 until one of you comment otherwise. So by the end of 6 months of weekly live streams, I would 24. Have 24. Okay. Thank you, Luke. So for those who may not know, Luke is my studio buddy here at Creative Geelong. He's just behind me there. And he was nice enough to help me with math because, you know, you can trust me because I know my math because, you know, I'm cool with finance. So the reason I bring up the math is that in 6 months time of consistent weekly live streaming, I will have 24 separate live streams. That's more content for my channel, but I also have 24 opportunities to reach out to more people and to talk to them. And Dare, don't laugh. Dare is just commenting and laughing. Ha ha ha. We're working together, like you said. So we're working together because we're working together. Don't laugh. I have 24 opportunities to pull out pieces of content from my live streams to, create other content from there. And that's another video entirely. But I've got this consistency of being able to make sure that I'm creating content over time. Yes, it's a live stream, but I have the ability to post, regularly from there. And say, for example, if you go to my YouTube channel now, I probably don't have a whole lot of content there because I'm still working and building it up. But by the end of the year, I hope to have, a minimum of 52 videos. Yes, I've got a little bit of catching up to do because I am a little bit sick, but I do have the ability to keep up and make sure that I'll be able to create those videos over time. And because I have done that mentality and kept that discipline of creating videos every second Sunday, of course when I was sick that didn't happen, but when I was through the new year, from the 2018 to 19, yes, do repurpose. Catherine just mentioned on the comment is, yes, loads to repurpose too. It gives you a chance to repurpose things and content that people may not have seen or may not have been able to find because it's in a larger live stream. And I'll talk about repurposing in another live stream. But what I would prefer to do is be able to wait, let's backtrack a bit. Yes, so what I would do over the 2018-19 period, Christmas, yeah, it's a thing, but I kind of use that time as a way of everyone's winding down, which means I can work extra hard on doing things that I want to do for my business, and it gives me a kind of a chance to really focus in on what I want to focus on. And I created, I filmed semi every day because it was summer, it got a bit hot, and the studio is a sound studio, fully padded in, fully insulated, got a bit hot. But I created, I think it was, looking at it, I created almost about 100 videos. So 100 10-minute videos within that time frame. Half of that was for my old business, Zebrafish, but you'll be seeing those videos soon because I haven't had time to edit because I've been sick. But I will actually use those videos as pieces of content. I'll let people know that, hey, you'll see my dress change, but the, knowledge is still the same. Yeah, word. But the ability to keep that discipline to myself, I was able to show myself, yes, you can go in, you can film the pieces of content, put it together, and be able to give people what they need, and then be able to help yourself in the future. That's one thing that's very important, is being able to give yourself that foundation and that solid starting point to let your future self relax. Recently, over the past couple of weeks, me and my mates, we've always joked about, oh, future Zoe can deal with that. Oh, future Zoe can deal with that. Or making jokes at other expenses of, future Zoe will hate you for that. Because yes, you are in different states of being. There's past you, there's present you, and there's future you. And when creating and batching your content, being able to film multiple hours of content at a time, you don't have to film all hours, I'm just saying, when you film multiple different videos at a time, yes, sometimes your audience can tell if your hair is styled in a certain way. I highly recommend getting one of these fashionable little headpieces because no one can tell if you've done your hair because there's not much to it, but also you can't tell if your hair's gone. And yes, some people may be able to tell when a video is filmed at a certain point if you've made a major change to your appearance or such, but most of the time it's about the videos and the content helping them achieve their goals. It doesn't really matter what you look like. And to be able to have that content as I think it's called a backload, and that's the workload that you have to come up, that's in the pipeline. But also it's a whole bunch of content that will be useful for people that you can grab out if, say, for example, like I should have done, which is where I should have had a pool of videos that I could have been able to pull out when I was sick and be able to present it to YouTube, to SEO, to blogs, to everyone and say, here is my piece of content for the week. There you go. Now, of course, this takes a bit of time. This takes planning, but it mainly falls on that discipline and that practice of making sure that you create that content consistently over time, making sure you build up that reserve, build up that pile, and then slowly filter it out as you go. Now, this could be a consistently, once a week video or once a fortnight, whatever works for you at the time. But if you've got that ability to identify, okay, I want to help the person that I'm doing this video for, and in 6 months' time, I'm going to have 24 videos. Well, then in that time, you better make sure that you have a script for every week that you put out a video, making sure that you plan a time to schedule, that you plan a time to film, and you plan a time to edit, and you plan a time to put it together, that you, research editing tactics if that's what you're really concerned about, is that you're overwhelmed by that technology. Well, then go and research it, making sure that you put a plan together so when it's time to actually put it into action, you've got all the knowledge there and you've got everything to base all your knowledge off and work on back from there. So we are part 1 and we are halfway through, so I might need to pick up the pace, Zoe. But how is everyone going? So we're halfway through. I just wanted to take a little break and remind you guys that Podcasting 101 is happening tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow with the wonderful Dr. Jürgen Strauss of AnovaBiz. He has like a butt ton of podcasts that he works on and helps produce, and he also runs a few himself. And it is really inspiring to be doing a workshop with him, taking his knowledge and being able to present it to my clients and the guys that I work with, but also being able to work with him on creating this content and this workshop together. Need to make sure I breathe myself. But that will be happening tomorrow, and you can find the link to the Eventbrite and to purchase a ticket. Tickets are only, I think it's $18.75 because of tax and a few other things, but around about, under the $20 mark is essentially what I'm saying. These workshops are never going to be this cheap again. It's because it's part of the Geelong Small Business Festival that we're doing it, and we're doing it here at Creative Geelong. So I highly recommend, if you're interested in podcasting or you don't even know where to begin, make sure that you come to this workshop, and you can check out our studio here at Creative Geelong as well. I will be running subsequent, podcast themed workshops afterwards, but not to the extent that and the knowledge that you'll be getting from Jürgen. So I highly recommend that you guys come. If you can book and you do have time. Yes, I know it's late notice for this live stream, but I've been promoting it for at least 2 months so far. So this is kind of like the tail end of my promo and just kind of letting everyone know before we begin. Making sure I breathe. And making sure we do this. But I highly recommend, if you've just joined us for the live stream, welcome, Zoe the Video Confidence Coach. Hi, how are you? Blah, blah. I highly recommend, if you're interested in video content, comment below with any of your questions, and make sure that you invite any of your friends or tag them or even share this content to them if they want to know how to better their video production and better their video marketing for their business. Okay, you ready to go again? Okay. See, even I take breaks. Of course, I don't spend like 5 minutes running around and, doing stuff. But I do take breaks in my live streams because, thank you, Luke. He's such a kind gentleman.
It was Dare's idea.
Are you two talking behind my back? Do we like, Zoe, she died at the start of the live stream. She coughed once and almost died. Give her some water.
She needs some milk.
Thank you, Dare, and thank you, Luke, for thinking of my safety while I talk to people online. Oh, what a lovely little pause that was. Okay, so getting back into the video making mindset. what I want to talk to you, and I touched on this a little bit at the start of the live stream. I want you guys to think about goals and goals that you plan, and putting your goals, in plain sight. Let me start that again. What I want to talk to you guys about is putting your goals in plain sight. So what I mean by this is the goal of, doing a weekly live stream every 6 months. Say, for example, that's my goal. Being able to put it somewhere that I can see it every day, and being able to move it around. The reason I clarified that by moving it around. So say, for example, you've got a post-it note that's on your computer screen, that's on your desk or somewhere around you. It's a physical thing that you can see. It's brightly colored and it says, live stream every Tuesday. I don't have one on me right now, but I'll tell you why in a sec. Now, if any of you look around you right now, you might be at home, you might be at the office, you might be in your car, you might be somewhere that you are fairly regularly. Now look around. It can be quite boring because you automatically know what's all around you. And as humans, we need to make sure we focus on the task at hand and we focus on what's important, food or death or, live or die, that type of thing. And when you're coming to the same place every day to work, some stuff that you may have put in, like little figurines or something, can kind of go by the wayside because you're used to seeing them there. It's quite normal for you to see them there, and you start to ignore them over time. Not because you're malice or not because of ill intent, but just because you're used to them and they're there in the foreground. So what I do is I have a little calendar reminder. Every 2 weeks it says move notes. So I've got a few post-it notes that I have at home, and I have a few I have here, and a few I have in my electronic calendar that allows me to just physically move them around so they're in a new space. So every time I come into my office or every time I go home, I see the note in a new space, and it automatically catches my eye, and I think, oh, what's that? All right, do a live stream every Tuesday. That's reminding me to keep that in the forefront of my mind, because Les Watson, who I'm not sure is still watching the live stream, but who joined us at the start of the live stream, one thing that I learned from him was that having your goals and seeing them up there can be quite, not fear-inducing, but can be quite overwhelming, especially when you're like, it's so far away, I'm never going to reach it. And even chunking it down and breaking down of, okay, how am I going to achieve this? Okay, halfway point is here, breaking it down. It can still seem like work, because it is. But you're, slowly crawling up that hill to try and get to where you want to be. And having those reminders around you, those brightly colored, or for me, having my reminders come up on my phone that, tell me, okay, you need to do this, snap out, you need to practice for this, schedule in time to do it. It allows me to remind myself of, okay, why am I doing this? I'm doing this to reach out to guys like you. You watching right now, I'm doing this for you because I want to help you with video production, and I want to reach out to you and help you answer your questions. So being in a live stream like this, once a week, same time, every week, I am able to actually give you something helpful, as opposed to just being like, oh, come to a workshop, do this, do that. I'll be here. I'm actually here for your questions. So if you have any, I want to make sure that, send me a question sticker. I'm intrigued. I'm able to actually respond to you live and respond to your comments. So that's why I'm doing that. Of course, there's the added benefits of, getting confident in front of live streaming, getting confident with the tech. So when my clients do the same, I'm able to do the same. Getting confident with setting up and getting that habit. But also, it's kind of nice to, be on top of trends and learn about stuff. But that should also be the same for you, being able to have your goals of what you're trying to achieve laid out in front of you. And as I mentioned before with Les and the tips he told me about, chunking down your goal, making it into manageable steps. One thing that I highly recommend is making sure that you move on to the next step even before you're ready. Now, I don't mean, jump off a cliff and hope for the best. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, if there's a next step that you need to take to get to where your goal is, then don't be afraid to take it. For example, for me, recently, was actually going ahead and getting on a 6-month course for my coaching So I don't mean me coaching you. I mean me actually getting my own coach. Previous examples and previous attempts I've tried of coaching in the past have failed quite badly because of myself. We just didn't gel with the people that I was actually being coached by. I felt left out. Many reasons. But being able to take that step of, okay, I want to actually give this, new. It's about a year. Video coach is about a year old, a year and a bit old. But I want to give this new business a try. I've, closed down my other business. I'm solely focusing on this because this is what I'm passionate about and what I really want to do. But I need help. Like on the financial side, one thing that I really don't want to do is talk to one of the associate coaches that they have on the team about finances. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't like it. But I'm going to have to do it. And I've already talking about organizing. I've already talked about organizing that meeting with them to talk about finances. What a spreadsheet is. I know what a spreadsheet is, but like what my break even point is for my business, or what is a balance sheet. I know my bookkeeper and my accountant have tried so many times to teach me what that is. I do not know what that is. Is a balance? Like you balance a sheet on like a thing? What am I doing with that? I don't know. And yes, that scares me to the core of being like, okay, but if I want to achieve this goal of, in the next 6 months, I want to be financially independent. Well, then I'm going to have to do that. I'm going to have to get to that next step. Even if I don't feel ready, and I have not felt ready for a long time, I'm still going to do it. And I'm still going to get to that next step because I want to achieve that goal. And having that goal come in front of me almost every day in a new spot, it comes up on my phone, it niggles me, it tells me, Zoe, listen to me, listen to your past self for your future self. Having that just constantly in your plain sight and making it clear and motivational and moving on to the next one, even if you don't feel like it, is the best thing for you. And that's the same thing with video production. If you're feeling scared, think about it. Okay, why are you feeling scared? Okay, I feel scared because I'm overwhelmed by the technology. Well, go to a video confidence coach workshop. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But okay, what can I do about this? Well, I can research. That could be my next step. I can research and then make a plan and then say, okay, within the next 2 weeks, I'm going to do this. Even if you, haven't done any research, you haven't even touched the Google button, you haven't even typed anything into that search bar, you've made a goal to yourself of, okay, in the next 10 weeks, I'm going to film my first video. We need to do this. Gives yourself that urgency. Now I should probably check out what Catherine's been posting. So yes, loads to repurpose too. Yes, I sent a question sticker to you. Ooh, I might check that out. And then got to head off. We'll watch replay. Awesome. You are awesome. Hashtag you are awesome. Oh, thank you, Catherine. Oh, that makes me win the feels. Oh, yes, I do like a little bit of ego. Hey, ego's not a dirty word. Just saying. So I'm just checking out on Instagram live stream. And my Instagram live stream, which is just positioned a little bit above my webcam, and I'm just checking out. I didn't realize that you could send question stickers during lives. Thank you, Catherine. Catherine is the owner of A Guide to Consultancy / A Guide to almost everywhere in the Bellarine, Ocean Grove, plenty of places like that. I highly recommend you check out her accounts. She is an absolute wizard when it comes to Instagram. I've done a workshop with her in the past. I've attended a lot of her workshops, and she just knows so much about Instagram and the implications of it, and it's beautiful. So if you want to check her out, she does a lot of great things and a lot of great workshops too. But I'm looking at it now. So do you use any apps to plan, schedule your work? Yes, that is a good question. I'm going to put that down. Cool. So for Catherine, I will send this to you later. But what I usually use to plan out / schedule is usually starting off basically is a piece of paper and your calendar app of choice. Now, I'm not sure about most people, but most people I work with, there's about, I'd say, 80-20 split of 80 people use an online calendar of some sort, be it Google Calendar, Outlook, other examples that I can't think of right now, but online calendars that when you update it on one device, it goes to all your other devices and updates that too. It's in the cloud, it's accessible, bada bing, bada boom. People using that to book in that time to book in that time, or making it a secured time that you're like, okay, this is the time I'm going to schedule it in, make it a habit, make it disciplinary, and actually get it done. And then people with diaries, being able to have like a little colored tab that comes out, or designating a color or a highlighter that you put in your diary that says, okay, this time every week, what have you, is a physical that I can see it in my calendar and it reminds me this is my planning time. So it's so for example, one thing that I recommended to people in regards to planning and doing and actually putting it out is pen and paper, but being able to go into your calendar of choice and just set a color for what you do, if you color code your calendars, and being able to go in there and just say, okay, on every Tuesday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. is going to be my video time. That video time once a week can be planning, so scripting, using the quick script, by the way. Or that time could be anything of the above. It could be, scripting my videos, actually filming my videos once a week, or editing my videos, or uploading the videos. Whatever you want, that's going to be your time once a week that you're going to be focusing on that. And being able to have that discipline is helpful, but actually scheduling time is even going to be more beneficial to you. So that's probably the best apps that I have. We could go into other ones about scheduling and uploading and other recommendations, but that's probably the ones that you want to hear for answering those type of questions. And we've got 15 minutes, so I'll have more water. Thank you. My colleague's making sure that I'm not going to die, because I coughed once and I almost died. Thank you, Dare. Thank you, Luke. The one thing that I'm going to finish off today with the live stream, as soon as it tells me that I'm making sure that I'm not running out of everyone's comments, is making sure that you make that time. And I did touch on that before with Catherine's question just before, but making sure that you schedule in that time on a regular basis, be it once a week, be it twice a week, be it once a fortnight, whatever you have time for, you schedule in that time and make sure you make that commitment. And making sure that you don't push it off, you don't pull it away. You actually sit down and say, okay, once a week on a Sunday morning, for example, this is my current schedule. On a Sunday morning, I spend 2 hours filming videos once a fortnight. Sometimes it goes over to 3 hours, but it's a Sunday, no one's there to bother me. But it's that time that I say to myself, okay, you are going to be here at that time. By that time, you have to have your scripts ready. You have to have your plan ready. You have to have all your thoughts and ideas on paper ready in front of you to go by this time. And if I get to that point and I haven't, it's been too chaotic or too busy, then too bad. I'm just going to have to do it either way. And I'm going to have to deal with the consequences of that. And one thing that I probably need to do for my own sake is making sure that I schedule in time of editing time. Now, because my videos are my videos are going to be a lot more complex than yours, because I've got the skills and the background to make them quite fancy using Adobe that I have paid so much money for, my videos are probably going to take a little bit more time to put together than, say, chopping off the tail end, starting the tail end, putting on a nice little tile, and that's it. I put a little bit more work, so then you guys have all the details that you need going forward. But being able to schedule in that time in your calendar app or your diary, and being able to have that in front of you and say, this is my time, hell or high water, this is what I'm going to have to do. Of course, if there's a family emergency or a business thing goes horribly wrong, yes, it's okay to move it. It's okay. But it's a meeting with yourself, a meeting with your employees, a meeting with fellow business people to agree that we are going to spend this time on our business to grow our business. Not to work in it, but to work on it. And of course, you would delegate that time with, important tasks. But the reason that you're creating video is to connect with your audience and to genuinely help them. So if you're not doing that with the time that you already have, then being able to fit it in should hopefully be easier using that time to market. And if you're a small business owner or a medium business owner and saying to me, Zoe, I just don't have time for this, well then make time. And if you can't make time, then it's clearly not a priority for you. If your business is growing tenfold at a time and you're clearly you're rocketing up, then no, you may not need video. Don't worry about it. But if you're stuck at a level that you can't seem to grow any further, of course, seek a business coach. But if you see video and what it's done for other businesses in your industry, then take a crack at it. Give yourself that 3 months, 6 months of consistent video production, consistent time of I'm going to do this at this time. See where it gets you. And most of the time I don't recommend just dropping video. But say, for example, giving yourself a goal, even something almost unobtainable, of being able to say, by the end of the 6 months, I hope to have an extra 500 people like my Facebook page. It's not a great goal, but I've seen it happen before with clients. The reason it's not a great goal is because likes don't really mean anything. It doesn't help you with reaching out to people or money or conversions, or likes don't mean anything. But let's just give it a number, give yourself a conversion rate that, you want a conversion rate of, a boost of 15%. It's fairly achievable depending on which industry and what you do. And having something like that and being like, okay, to achieve that, I'm going to do the following things. I'm going to weekly video market. I'm going to market the hell out of that. I'm going to, create blogs, and I'm going to market heavily in local business groups. 3 things. Then breaking that down from there and being able to actively go and achieve it is going to be more beneficial to you than just thinking about it and then just changing things on whims and just doing it when you feel like it. Because, marketing is a fact of life for business. And if you're not marketing, then what industry are you in and can I join? No, I mean, I like marketing. I like what I do. I like helping you guys. But for businesses that don't require any marketing, and people who say, oh, yeah, we don't market, or, we don't need marketing for our industry, I'd like to see that in print, please. Because just because you're not doing the normal marketing channels does not mean you're not marketing. There's plenty of businesses out there that rely purely on referrals. People that they know, talking to other people they know about you, and then them contacting you because of that. That's still marketing. Whether you like it or not, that's still marketing. And business out there needs to be known by people. And if you build that community, especially an online community, because, everyone can access it with a tiny little phone in their pocket, then it's going to be more effective for you and your business. So we have finished off this week's live stream. Woo! Nope, no laughs from Luke. He's not even funny. Am I boring you? No, he can't hear me because he's got his headphones in. That's why. Oh. But my call to action for this week is to book in a coaching time with me. And I currently don't have a Bitly link, so that's not going to be my call to action for this week. My call to action for this week is going to ask you guys to join the Video Confidence Crew on Facebook. I've got a lot of things planned and a lot of things in the wind planning for you guys. We do regular lives on that channel, and clients past, potential, and future can go in and ask questions, get the community feedback from other business owners and hobbyists like you, but also, get a bit of feedback from me too. But the reason I recommend doing that is because you can see what other people do and try to achieve with their video content. You can see them growing from, being too afraid to get in front of the camera to being able to soar and do it regularly, because it's benefiting their business, but it's also benefiting their customers. People become local celebrities in regional towns because of the content they can create. Some people, it turns out, are really funny. And, I'm not saying that you have to be funny on video inherently to, build rapport, but it's surprising what you can do and the personality that comes across in video, because, you're connecting with one itty bitty lens, in my case two, but you're connecting with one itty bitty lens that has the whole world behind it. And if you're able to connect to that one lens, then you're able to connect to everyone who sees you and everyone who connects with you and everyone who wants to learn more. Because humans don't like to make mistakes. And if you can fix their mistake or fix any potential of them making mistakes so they don't have to make that mistake, then you're a good person to know. And also money helps as well. But we're going to finish up here on the live stream this week. If you have any questions, feel free to DM or message me, or just join the video conference crew and you can, continue to ask your questions from there. I hope you guys have learnt a lot and feel like that you can continue to check in between 6 and 7 on every Tuesday to say hi to me and ask your questions if you like. But I'd also like to thank everyone who's popped in and who's made comments and who's shared and tagged us on all of the platforms that we're on, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram Live, LinkedIn. I'm not sure if LinkedIn is working. I still need to figure that out if that's the case, because I don't think it is. LinkedIn's easy miles. But no, I've got a bit of a bone to pick with LinkedIn. He's not playing nice as of late. But my discretions aside, I'm quite tired. It's been a very long day. The Digital Innovation Festival has been very, very intense. But we're all finished. We're all ready to go. And I'm going to say adieu. I'm going to finish up. And I've gotten very French all of a sudden. But I'm going to say adieu. And cheers, good night, and enjoy.
All done?
Mm-hmm.
How'd it go?
Except for the coughing fit I almost died from.